Just-in-time compilers. When our IL compile code needs to be executed, the CLR invokes the GIT compiler, which compiles the IL code to native executable code. Can be .exe or .dll files that is designed for the specific machine and operating systems. GITs are different from traditional compilers as they compile the IL to native code just in time. So the part of code that is not used by the particular run is never converted to native code. If some IL code is converted to native code, then the next time it's needed, the CLR reuses the same already compiled copy without recompiling. So if a program runs for some time, assuming that all or most of the time gets called, then it won't have any just-in-time performance. As GIT is aware of the specific processor and operating system at runtime, it can optimize the code extremely efficiently, resulting in a very robust application. The Framework Class Library FCL. The .NET Framework provides a huge framework or base called Class Library FCL for common usual tasks. FCL contains thousands of classes to provide access to Windows API and common functions like string manipulation, common data structures, streams, threads, security, network programming, Windows programming, web programming, data access, etc. It is simply the largest standard library ever shipped with any development environment or programming language. The best part of this library is that they follow extremely efficient object-oriented design, making their access and use very simple and predictable. You can use the classes in FCL in your program just as you would use any other class. You can even apply inheritance and polymorphisms to these classes. The Common Language Specification (CLS). Earlier we used the term .NET Compliant language can make use of CLR and FCL. But what makes language a .NET Compliant language? The answer is the Common Language Specification. Microsoft has released a small set of specifications that each language should meet to qualify as a .NET Compliant language. As IL is a very rich language, it is not necessary for a language to implement all the IL functionality. Rather, it merely needs to meet a small subset of CLS to quantify as a .NET Compliant language. This addresses language design issues and lays down certain standards. For instance, there shouldn't be any global function declaration, no pointers, no multiple inheritance, and things like that. The important point to make here is if you keep your code within the CLS boundary, your code is guaranteed to be usable in any other .NET language. The Common Type System (CTS). .NET also defines a Common Type System (CTS). Like CLS, CTS is also a set of standards. CTS defines the basic data type that IL understands. Each .NET Compliant language should map its data types to these standards. Data types. This makes it possible for the language to communicate with each other by passing or receiving parameters each other. Garbage collector (GC). CLR also contains the garbage collector, which runs in a low priority thread, checks for unreferenced dynamically allocated memory space. If it finds some data that is no longer referenced by any variable, it reclaims it and returns it to the operating system. The presence of a standard garbage collector frees the programmer from keeping track of dangling data. Syntaxes.